Welcome back to, sorry,
Go ahead.
not live. Now I can? Okay, good. Hey, boys and girls, welcome to Munro Live, and this time we really are live. Cory and I are going to talk a little bit about the adventures we had down at the Consumer Electronics Show, and to kick it off is Cory.
Yeah, so we had a booth this year. It's our second year in a row at CES, and we shared it with Ariso. So Ariso is a connector company from Japan. We have a good relationship with them. They were the ones that toured us around. Roy,
Right.
he toured us around Japan for our Japan visit. So we want to give a shout out to them.
Oh, and Sako-san, the head guy, really put the dog on for us. He was the one who picked up the tab for a lot of unbelievable restaurants.
Yeah.
So Sako-san, domo arigato. Right?
So for CES, it was a unique experience having a booth because we had a place for not only our fans to visit, we probably had hundreds and hundreds of fans of the show visit, and then also our clients and customers. But we had a wide array of interviews scheduled. So we're going to go in chronological order. And I got there a day before you, and I went and visited the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. They had the Indy Autonomous Challenge. So behind us, Sandy, I can actually see they had these Indy car light series, and they were rigged up with cameras, radar, and LiDAR, and they would drive around the track by themselves, and they actually race. Yeah, it was actually kind of cool. I got the opportunity to interview Paul Mitchell, the president of the IAC. He had some interesting stuff to say, but the real fun got going when you showed up, because we had the influencer event that first night. So talk about who was at the influencer event.
Well, the influencer event had a lot of people, but Ellie from In Space.
Ellie in Space.
And then
they're going to
show. And then Kyle from Out of Spec. Oh, it's going to be hard to keep. I can't do both at the same time. So anyway, Kyle from Out of Spec and
Alyssa.
And Alyssa. Yes, and Alyssa. And then Tim and Lacey from Miss Go Electric. Patrick from the Mach-E video.
And Liv.
Yeah. I didn't meet Liv. He probably kept her from me. So anyways, and then John, Dr. Know-It-All. This time he had his glasses on and I didn't take my shirt off. So that was good. Now I got my eyes all watering. And then Justice from Bearded Tesla. Justin. So there you are. Ricky from 2-Bit Da Vinci. All Electric Family. And then Ryan from Kilowatts. So that was some of them, but there was other people that tried to crash the party as well. So I can see a few folks, but I can't see everybody.
Yeah,
we had a good time.
We rented out the whole section of a restaurant inside the Venetian called the Rock House. We had a big food buffet and an open bar. We probably could have invited another 40 or 50 people. So next time we know. But that was kind of fun meeting up with all the other YouTube influencers, and we invited a few more that didn't show up that we saw at the show. We saw Zach from Jerry Rig Everything at the show, and then Dan from What's Inside.
So the one thing that we'll do next time is we'll just let anybody order that wants any food, because everybody was drinking and talking, nobody was eating. So that big bar mitzvah spread that we had was eaten probably either by the staff or by the people that were in the next room trying to crash continuously.
Right. So Sandy, let's get into what our viewers actually really care about, and that's the technology we saw at the show. So I know we did some interviews with other people, but let's get into not only your first impressions, but some of the first people you talked to.
Well, the first people that I talked to was Polestar Smart Eye. So that would Jorgen Braunschreider. And he's the CTO of Polestar, and quite frankly, they've got a very, very good system for autonomous driving. I'm not sure if it's in the marketplace yet, but this is what the car looks like, and pretty spectacular. This is a car that I'd like to take to pieces, hopefully next year, but I don't think it's going to be here for a while. I'm not a big fan of LiDAR, but what they had seemed to resonate, at least with me. I'm still big on FLIR because I know that's what you're going to need for level 4, but for level 3, this will probably do the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Zukes. I
Yeah,
talked
that's
to
you.
Chris
Yeah.
Stoffel, the director of studio engineering at Zukes. So Zukes was there with their, what do you call it? It's a people mover. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a cab, but it had a wide suite of sensors. You
Yeah.
can see it right there. So I talked to Chris there. He said that they had a lot of momentum. He really likes the culture working there. That whole bit with Chris is going to be on Munro Live later, and probably a mashup of other videos. But Zukes is pretty cool. They were in a booth about probably 300 feet from us. It was really nice that they chatted with us.
Actually, Toyota was right next door to us, and that was one of the things. We didn't interview anybody from Toyota, but that was another thing that that was good for us. I'd really like to talk to Toyota about maybe getting into EVs in a giant way. I think we can help them out as a client, as a customer. So right next door to us, they had what did they call me? Their box that would be similar to this.
It looked like that. It was from Moox, Moox.
Yeah.
And it looked similar to the Zukes, and it was more designed to allow for ingress and egress of the wheelchair.
Yeah,
there.
right. And I'm big on that sort of thing. So then the next thing I guess we could talk about is the Ram. I did an interview with a couple of the folks that are in charge of styling, the interior and exterior styling.
And that went up yesterday. It's online.
The video's up.
Oh, and that went up. Oh, well, then I'm not going to talk about it. But the Ram was very interesting. This is a concept car, which means you probably aren't going to see what this looks like. And then over here, you can see this is their skateboard, looking at it from the rear. So what you're looking at is the same similar air suspension system, four-wheel independent all the way around. And but there was a couple of things that looked kind of different. They said this was going to go 500 miles. That battery pack will get you to the grocery store and back. But I think what they're really showing here is something along the lines of this is the potential, or this is the kind of like the format that we're going to use, but not really, because the extended range, if we look up here, you can see that there's some iron up there. That's where the engine's going to go. They're going to have a V6 engine.
This is the front, Sandy. See the splayed rails right there?
Well, then,
That's
okay,
the rear.
well, that's the rear. So anyhow, somehow they're going to have an engine in this thing, and an engine and a generator. So that's kind of what's going on with these the guys at Ram. The styling is pretty snappy. This has a opera doors for the egress and ingress. Inside, it was spectacular. I have no clue how they're ever going to hit their targets from a cost standpoint with the fancy stitching and whatnot. But it was very nice for them to allow us to have a look. And believe me, they were tight. So when's that one coming up, Eric?
That video's live.
Oh, that's live
Yeah, that
already.
one's
Okay.
live.
Oh, we should go then. I didn't do Siemens, so
I didn't do Siemens either. Oh, that was, we met Brenda Disher, SVP of Business Strategy. That's probably Mike. So,
oh, Mike
Made
did
a
that?
video.
yeah, we had Mike Oakes. He's our VP of Sales. You can see him right there. We had so many requests for interviews or interactions with Munro Live that we had to divide and conquer. We considered bringing Carl along with us because he's so eloquent, but we didn't. So we had Mike do this. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one down is ABB. This is one of the ones that I did. I'm big on chargers, and for those of you who kind of talked to Kyle and saw what kind of problems they had out there in Colorado, Colorado, that was a real shit show. What they were showing me here was two things. Actually three things. One was their in-home charging system, and as you know, we made a couple of videos about that, and they've got what I think is a good in-home charging system, but even better than that, they have an installation system. When you buy from them, they'll install everything. It goes right from if you need a new box to right out to plugging it into your vehicle. I like that full service kind of stuff, and I'm not big on basically a dryer plug.
Yeah. And Sandy, you mentioned Kyle Connor from
Yeah.
Out of Spec. He started a new Twitter handle called Rate Your Charge. And it
Oh,
already
really?
has over 4,000 followers. So if you're out there watching this and you hate your charging experience, go find that Twitter handle and rate your charge.
Lodge your complaint. Basically, it sounds like there's a lot of complaining going on, right? Especially at my house. My wife is very unhappy trying to charge the Rivian. She loves the truck, but she won't go on any kind of an experience because she can't count on the charging systems. So, and that's pretty much everybody except for ABB. Now, Sue will look on the side and find out if it's an ABB charger, and then she knows that when she goes through all the rigmarole, it'll actually work.
Yeah.
So that's the level 2 chargers that these guys have got. So that's into the public domain, and then they've got the 3rd level chargers, and this will be for big trucks and things like that. ABB's not up yet, is it? No. Okay, so that's coming down the pike tomorrow. Okay.
Then SIBROs, we interviewed Albert Lilly, who's the chief marketing officer. Once again, that was Mike. So we don't have Mike here, but that video is going to be coming out soon. And then you went to VinFast.
Yes, I did.
Who did you talk to, Sandy?
And I talked to everybody. And the one that's really was really special is Miss Thuy. And that's
Madam
it.
Thuy.
Madam Thuy is right here. So this is the lady that runs the show. Madam Thuy is like amazing woman. She's running that company and a whole bunch of other things. She's really kind of, if you want to pick on somebody and say, there's a real leader, everybody knows who she is. Like I said in the past, very few people know who the CEOs of different companies. If you say VinFast, Madam Thuy is, that's the first name that comes up. So we had a little chat. I did an interview that's coming up, and you'll get a chance to see that in the not too distant future. And when I was there, I talked to Craig and Garth.
What do you think of the VF6 and 7? You saw them?
I did. I saw the VF6 and 7. These are the smaller vehicles, and I was pretty happy with what I saw. These guys, and this is what's his name?
He was there?
Dewey. Yeah, Dewey.
I didn't know Dewey was there.
Yeah, Dewey was our guide. This guy was incredibly. And what was the lady's name that was
Thuy?
No. Thuy was.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, they were Thuy and Ms. Thuy is not the same, but these guys were absolutely fabulous. But they just gave us the best time ever. I was really happy to see him there. Really happy. Mm-hmm. So then we moving on to Cat. Okay, so Caterpillar, we went and looked at one of their big trucks somewhere in here, and
oh, there it is.
So Jag gave me a tour. That's not Jag. I don't know who it. There he is, Jag, right here. Jag gave me a tour of their vehicle. So this is an autonomous dump truck, basically, and this is the smallest that they have. When it comes to mining equipment, the stuff is vastly bigger than anything you could possibly imagine. And so we were talking, and he was showing lots of demonstration in here. This is a great way to increase efficiency and reduce increased safety. I'm not going to go about anything else, but it's very dangerous in mines, hugely dangerous. So we talked about that. We also talked about talking a little bit about what might happen in the future with electrification of mining equipment. There's a lot of people looking at that because it's very, very difficult to get diesel fuel, and that's the only thing you can use is diesel. It's very difficult to get diesel fuel to these outlying areas in mines and whatnot. So an EV advancement for them would be probably save them a lot of money and also get rid of the pollution.
Going all the way down
Absolutely.
The mine as well.
Yeah. So going up, you're going to need something to keep you charged. Going down, it's free. It's free because you're basically using regen. And the other good thing about it is you're not going to use brakes too much. So this is all good stuff with Cat. And
I did Automotive.
Yeah,
so it's REE Automotive, and they make a corner module. I interviewed the VP of engineering, the VP of product marketing and strategy. Her name was Kim Mathers. very, very well spoken about the advantages of this corner module. Sandy, I don't know if you saw it. It was really cool.
I did
So
not.
it's a large casting that has a motor, suspension, the shocks, the brakes, including a little unit to generate the force for braking and for steering. And it's the same corner module for all 4 corners. What's up? Oh, it's behind me. Here it is, Sandy. Look at this thing.
Yeah. Okay, I did
And
not see
the
this.
load floor goes right here. Now, what it is it can be, they said it can be removed under a few hours. So if you have a problem here, you can remove it, refurbish it. It's very cool. So that it allows you to apply this technology on class 4, class 5 trucks, and you have a completely flat load floor. So think about that. It's all encapsulated. You don't have lines running throughout the vehicle, nothing. You just got to run power and control to it.
Did we do a video on that?
Yeah, we did. I did it.
I can hardly wait for that to come
That's
out.
pretty-
'Cause
yeah.
I didn't see it.
I tried to ask some challenging questions. Kim had a lot of good answers, but that was pretty cool. I can see the application moving forward, particularly from a serviceability perspective. But these are the types of things that we really like to see at CES is new ways to solve problems. The next thing I did was I got to ride in the Mercedes-Benz EQXX. It's their super efficient, you call it a halo concept car. You're probably going to pull up a picture. They even thought through all of the tiny aspects, like these different diffusers in the hood. The emblem was just a sticker because even that would cause too much turbulence. They had really advanced air curtains over the wheels, the shape of the rear deck lid. The rear wheelbase was more narrow than the front. For aerodynamics.
Were the wheels different as well?
I don't
Front
know.
wheels are usually bigger than the rear for efficiency.
Yeah.
That looks the same.
But it had, I think it got 8.4 kilometers per kilowatt hour. So I don't know. Yeah. So they got 1,250 kilometers on one charge. And I believe it was a 100 kilowatt hour battery or 90 kilowatt hour battery. So essentially 700 miles, 600 miles. The exact numbers they gave while I gave the ride, I rode with Julian, and he was one of their engineers who worked on the program. They only have one. It's one of one. But, yeah.
I
pretty
didn't
cool.
get a chance.
It was,
It's
it was
the same old, same old.
Yeah.
Cory gets all the cool shit.
No, it was at the very last minute. They walked up to our booth and said we had a slot that opened up, and it was at like 3:00 on, was that Thursday or Friday? And Eric and I walked like a mile and a half to first get there, ride in it, and then walk to dinner.
Wow.
So you didn't miss that much.
Actually, I'm glad I didn't. But anyways, the next one here is Luminar. I didn't do that either.
Oh, I got a chance to ride in Luminar's exhibit. So I got to ride in a vehicle with their LiDAR technology. And what it did was it actually, here it is. They were out in the parking lot outside of West Hall, and the vehicle can detect something as simple as a tire on the road, and it stopped for it. So the first thing they did was they had me ride in another vehicle with its normal ADAS componentry, completely didn't see the tire. And then my car actually stopped, in the Lexus. But I also got to talk to Austin Russell, who is the CEO. So talked to him for maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
Cool.
And the last thing, Eric and I finally found it. It was way on the other side of CES. We went to Texas Instruments booth, and they highlighted their new battery management system. So they make all the silicon for the circuitry, and they're boasting best-in-class voltage monitoring with the most accuracy, super technical. And they had a demonstration. They had a battery generator, and they showed all the faults that it could detect. And then they had a little RC car that they would drive around with a wireless BMS. So
cool.
May seem very specific and really unique, but at CES, that's the level of detail you go into. So Texas Instruments was really proud of their solutions for battery management system. And
well, speaking of batteries, one of my favorite things was from BEFC, a very, very, a very small French company, and they have a new paper battery. It's paper and sugar water. And I was super impressed. And we are going to do a Zoom call, put it all together. I think that was one of my favorite things. Also, we had a look at the Aero project, which I never heard of. This is an all-Canadian, I don't know if we've got any pictures of it, but yeah, there you are. It's an all-Canadian car. I mean, everything's made in Canada. The batteries, the seats, the whole car, everything was designed up there. And they did it on the QT, so not anymore. So anyways, there's a bunch of different technologies that I'm very, very interested in that vehicle. This is a prototype, or not a concept car. That's what you need to do it. But you can see here that they do have what we would call a B column. That B column means that I can actually probably crash the car. They said that they've designed it so even though it has opera doors, it would actually, according to FE finite element analysis, it would be able to be crashed. So this, you take a car, you put it in FEA, and in essence, it pounds it in every different direction and tells you where the weak spots are, and that's how you design a vehicle. And then the last one was Lucid. Lucid, we didn't get a chance to do something there, but they're talking now about maybe letting us do a video and a bunch of other things. One thing I wanted to do, but it didn't kind of work out, was I wanted to find out how their Alexa system worked. But there was we were late and they were having some issues, so we didn't get a chance to do that. But I definitely want to see more about what's going on with Lucid in the very near future. Hopefully.
Two other things that you skipped over was you were interviewed by one of the top YouTubers in Romania, George. Can't pronounce his last name. Buccini, something like that.
I was leaving you with the last name because you're better at names. Than I am.
And then you also talked to a gentleman named Thomas Mueller from Wipro.
Right.
And that was really cool. Their company does software reverse engineering.
Yeah.
It's something we don't do. So that'll be a good fit with our company. We knew someone named Sumit who did the introduction there. So thank you, Sumit, for that.
Yeah.
And then
Sumit's there. I think he's head of North American sales or something. I can't find his card, but anyway,
And then the last, you were interviewed by the Czech YouTube channel, Tesla Czech.
And Andre, there you go. And that was kind of cool as well. I like the fact that this show is kind of very international. We saw people from basically almost every corner of the earth. Everybody goes to CES to find out what's going on. I have no clue how you possibly do it in the 3 or 4 days it's out there. You have to be specific on what you want to look at. I did not get a chance to even go through the West Hall that we were in, which only had basically automotive stuff. I never got a chance to really experience what CES had to offer. But all in all, it was a good time. I'm really glad that we got a chance to go. Anybody who can make it down there should have a look. If you're into electronics, there's a separate hall. There's separate halls for almost anything you could imagine. And it is huge. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of people running around. And actually, I think that there was more than 1,000 people at our booth because we had. You said hundreds at the beginning.
We had 1,000 crossbody bags with Munro live on it. Those sold out, and we had we gave away by sold out. We had a couple thousand lanyards, Munro live lanyards. Yeah, people saw them. There's one right there.
Yeah.
We'll do an inventory of that, but I'm talking several thousand people came to the booth.
Yeah, not several hundred, several thousand. It was really incredible. When they opened the show, it was like we were swamped with people. I could not believe my eyes. And we had a really crappy place to have our booth. We were basically between the wall and
another
wall. Did we ever get any money back for that?
No.
Anyhow, we were supposed to be and that's the other thing that was kind of like a big deal. I had no idea that there was such a thing as BlackBerry anymore. Turns out that their software is the #1 operating system on the planet, including SpaceX. So that they went from, making cell phones to, in essence, using their software to as an operating system for cars and whatnot, because it is bulletproof. That's why it took a long time for Cory to talk me into giving up on BlackBerry and going to Apple. So
yeah. Another thing, people came around to the booth. They're really interested in our reports. So just a little update. We finished our Rivian. We pushed to get it done at the end of last year. So our entire Rivian report is for sale. If you're interested, you're out there watching, reach out, sales@leandesign.com. Also, the F-150 Lightning report is done. The Model Y with the 4680 report is done, plus the Model S Plaid and the Mach-E and the Model Y.
And the Lightning and on and on.
Yeah.
So if you need any kind of information on pretty much anything, and quite frankly, we've gotten a lot of interest from the general public. Well, not general public. It'd be different companies and different industries in the EV world, and we do split these things up. So if you need only electric motors, or you only need inverters, or you only need charging systems, or what have you, then we can help you out.
And if you just want to talk to Sandy, email us at sales@leandesign.com, and we'll let you know his hourly rate. And we don't care if you want to talk about sports or opera, but you won't get anything from Sandy.
You don't get anything from me. That's opera, especially. That's Cory's specialty.
No.
But anyhow, if you're looking for strategic help and whatnot, then you can talk to me, or even if you want to talk about details associated with pretty much anything that's in an electric vehicle, I can probably help you out. The other thing was the finance guys. We forgot to mention them.
Analysts were there.
We were analysts and Wall Street kind of guys. So at the end of the day, we'll talk to anybody. I almost forgot. The guys from Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah.
There was I can't remember all their names right now, but thank you to all the guys at the it's the Ministry of Investment.
Isn't it Waleed?
Waleed is one, and who's the other?
They stopped by our booth.
Yeah, they did.
I think so.
Oh, they met me at VinFast.
I see our producer director Eric is looking at me, waving. What do you want us to talk about, Eric?
We have people in India, so mention that.
Oh yeah. So
we do.
We have two people in India right now, Paul and Pete. They're there thanks to the MEDC. They helped and chipped in the Michigan Economic Development.
I thought we just banished the two of them in hopes that they never come back.
No, they're there on a sales trip. So if you're in India, I think where are they in?
I have no idea. Nobody gave me any idea. I know that they weren't going to Chennai. They're somewhere up north, I think.
Yeah.
Because I said all the places that I liked in Chennai, I do like the food in Chennai. I like it a lot. So
yeah.
But I think they were in Mumbai.
Mumbai, the main city. Doesn't matter. They're in India.
They're up north in India anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So that about wraps it up. Anything else, Sandy?
No, I'm good. I think we hit all the high points. It was a great show.
Are we going next year?
And we're going next year.
We are going to be at CES next year. Our booth is going to be in a similar location. I think it'll be twice as big, though.
Twice as big. So if you have twice as big a tent in the middle of the desert, actually, next time, what I'm going to do is I want a big red flashing light
with an arrow
that says with an arrow
with Sandy's face. We were going to get wild, wacky, inflatable, flailing arms people with your face on it.
Knocked it down,
and that would have been phenomenal to see a big green, wild, flailing, wacky arms guy with your face on it. Instead, we got a cardboard cutout of you, and then I got punked, and they made one of me.
They made one of you.
I did not ask for that.
His was taller and better looking, so there you go.
Than me, yes, I'd agree.
No, than mine. Mine had crease marks all over it, and kick marks as well. I'm going to find out who it was kicking at my cardboard cutout. Yeah.
And one last thing, if you are a runner or like running, I am racing Sean Mitchell this weekend in Houston at the half marathon. He said the only thing I could beat him in is a race to a box of donuts. So that is on Twitter. So if you're watching this, Sean Mitchell's from All Things EV. I actually am getting in so late that he's picking my packet up, my
Oh, wow.
my race packet. So we're going to
Cool.
throw down in Houston. So look for that on Twitter. We may post a little poll on who won that race.
And actually, if we're talking about racing for donuts, I would win every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You would.
I'm an elbower. Yeah. So there you are.
All right.
I think we're good.
We're good. Yep.
Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching Munro Live. Have a great day and keep tuning in. Thank you.